Okay, well, let's see what we can do. I see some bait up there. I think I'm gonna cast net some of that. So, hey, welcome to FloridaFishyFinger, my YouTube channel, where I take you on my fishing adventures. And this is a solo mission out in the Indian River Lagoon. Had some good trips recently. It's June, late June, and as you can see, of course, if you get the choice bait, you have a higher chance of success. Let me see if I can get some of these with the cast net and throw them in the live well. Alright, let's try some. Fully operational. Well, I was not successful getting bait. I saw a few flicking here and there, but didn't get them. What I'd really like to do is get on some better bait than finger mullet. Those Mahara that Jonathan and I got were so good for the snook. That really silver bait. If I could, I brought a sabiki rod just in case I saw some herring type baits running in the river anywhere. I thought maybe I'd try to snag a few of those. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so the title of this video is Catch More Fish by Learning to Fish Close to Home. And this is something that most fishermen know. And if you want to increase your time out on the water, of course, one easy way to do that is to decrease the time between where you live and the boat experience. Now, if you've got a boat in the backyard like this, you know, that's pretty easy already. But for most of us, we don't have that. Like me, I trailer it down to a launch ramp, and that distance of driving to a place that you may think is better fishing, has better fishing conditions, and probably does. You probably get more fish in the amount of time you're there. My experience has always been you can catch more if you stay close to home and learn how to fish it. Okay, so today there are west winds, and that gives me an opportunity. This is a typical summer pattern to fish the west side of the Indian River Lagoon. I always like that, and there are a lot of options. There's a lot of west side of the Indian River Lagoon. It runs the entire length of Central Florida, certainly. So, think about this one. I think I'm going to go, you know what, I'm going to make a command decision. I'm going to go and try and catch a few fish, a few trout, and a few ladyfish with a jig. I rigged up a nice paddle tail, mullet-like jig. I'm going to go try to catch a few ladyfish on the flats and a couple trout maybe, and then I'm going to shoot it across to the other side of the river and find a place to get a big one. Hopefully we'll see some bait on the way out. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do when fishing locally is to understand the wind trolling capability, and by that I mean letting the wind push you along like a trolling motor in one direction. It's like the dumbest trolling motor ever, but it works pretty well. And so if you know of structure that runs east-west on a day that on a day that has west wind, you can run right along that structure and fish it. And that's what I'm going to do here. I've just got, ledge. Ah, there it is. You see that? Look at that, right to 2.7. Okay, so I want to get right about on the deep side of this, because I think I'll catch them on the downside if I'm coming off of the flat and dropping deep as opposed to the other way. We'll see how that goes. All right, now we're heading back out. Try to find the edge again. And then I'll just drift right along it. There it is. Okay, that should do it. Another little trick that I use, and it's fun with the tiller. Tiller's so simple, right? You avoid all of the hassle and weight of a steering wheel and center console deal on a boat this tiny. That much weight actually does matter, 60, 80 pounds. But it's also very functional to have this. I use it to steer the boat in the wind, and of course once I get a trolling motor this will all become somewhat obsolete, but this I can still use it in cases like this. Why would I turn on the trolling motor when I could just drift right along the ledge? So let's see if I can get some fish right in my backyard. All right. Okay, I'm going to try a new kind of soft bait here, the pearl white pogey. Stinky one, gulp bait. I bet you I can get those ladyfish to bite on this. I found them. They were swiping at it, but a puffer got the tail off my paddle tail, and I thought, why not just put on a nice stinky bait? All right, so that looks pretty good. And if I was a trout or a ladyfish, I would eat that. Let's see what happens. That was a hit. Get it right back to where they were. Trout. Alright. It's fun fishing this ledge east to west. I'm not used to doing that much, but I've been getting hits all along here. It's just nothing totally committed yet. That trout was about 12 inches. It's not bad. But I'll take anything to get on the board. Okay. Come on. How can you possibly resist this bait? I can't believe I'm not getting a hit every single cast. Oh, there you go. Got a little tap that time. That was a little trout. Tried to slow it down after that, but couldn't. I bet you I'm gonna. Ah. Okay, my first wind trolling, wind drift session was pretty good. I got dozens of hits. Some were puffers, but I got a trout all the way to the boat, almost touched the leader, so I guess it doesn't count. But I'm gonna drift this ledge again. Lessons learned. I've got a better bait on, so I think I'll have some success. Let's go back around. Bait up top. I don't see it though, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna resist the temptation to obsess on bait. And let's see if we can catch one. Nice potholes. Puffer. Saw it swim up to the boat. Topwater puffer. Sometimes the ladyfish like it even after the paddle tail is off. Those little puffers have beaks. And they just chomp off the tail. I saw another puffer follow it back to the boat. All right, let's give that a try. New approach. Ooh, the baits are here. Well, I found the mullet, that's for sure. All right. Got one, and he's a big one, but better than none. Okay, new flash. I just started throwing the bait here and I had a giant trout come up next to the boat and swipe at that thing, so I'm optimistic the bigger ones are here. Oh, yeah. That's it. He's not the biggest one, but he's a good one. Nice speckled trout. All right. I got one on the board. try to touch them as little as possible just because I know they have a protective slime. And I don't want to hurt them because I want to catch them when they get bigger. All right. Here we go. I found him. Oh. More hits. Oh, it was another one, but it was nicer size for sure. Trout are here. Found the trout. Little known fact, trout is a type of drum. Oh. Whoop. Trout number 2. Barely hooked. Okay, let's see if we can't get some more. We found the trout. And anytime you found the trout, you're in a good situation. I think I might get a redfish. Look at the potholes here. Wow, that is nice. All right, I'm gonna get one. Another one. This one's a little bigger. Whew. Believe that? That thing ate a bait that could barely fit in its mouth. You get tired of catching trout? I don't. I'll take it. This is what I mean. Alright, I haven't caught snook yet, but that one that came up next to the boat was gigantic. And it was either a trout or a redfish. Kind of hard to tell. But he was a big boy, so they're here. And when you're getting the trout, they'll eat those trout all day, those baby trout. So those bigger ones love that. Keep going in more and more shallow. I'm just letting it drift in. The cool thing about having the micro skip, you could just go into 6 inches of water easily if you wanted to. Oh, another pothole paradise here. No hits. I'm gonna run it kind of along the edge of these potholes here, see if I drum up a little interest. But I'll tell you one thing, if there's a big redfish or snook here, I'm going to be able to see it. And I've got one live bait in that tank ready to go. And one is all you need if you find the big boy. I just know any minute I'm going to drift over a big one. Oh. Okay, let's get it right back there. Well, that catfish was nice enough to jump off the hook for me and not jump into me. That will change your whole day if a catfish jumps into you, since they have poisonous stingers. That leads me to an important idea, which I learned the hard way. That is, have a first aid kit on your boat. I have hydrogen peroxide, a bandage for like any severe laceration, band-aids, all that kind of stuff, because, well, you get hurt on the boat. That's part of the deal. So, yeah, Jonathan actually got slashed by a snook across the web of his hand on our last trip. Price well worth paying, but you know, it's handy to have that hydrogen peroxide. Those snook and all these other fish are covered in bacteria, sometimes staph, so you want to be careful. All right. I don't want to catch another catfish, but I do want to catch one more trout. Seeing that big one really just made me know they're here. Oh, that was a nice trout, but I just said, you spit it right before I could get him. It's funny, the little ones aren't hailing it and the bigger ones are being standoffish. So tempting just to stay here because you know every cast possibility. All right, 3 more casts. There we go. That wasn't a puffer, there's a trout. Little trout, mouthed it and pulled it along. I didn't try to set the hook because I knew it wasn't fully in his mouth. He had the thing across his mouth like a dog with a bone. We are in prime speckled sea trout territory here with these healthy flats and potholes. I love it. So I put on that white paddle tail again, and it's been really getting attention. I don't know if it's because it's a little later in the day or it's just better fish here, but they love it. It's a big difference from what I was using. Oh, yeah, they're hitting it on the fall too, so I'm really letting it fall. Nice, that was a trout for sure. Some bigger ones seem to like this, and then, like I said, with that specific type of action. Getting windier. Got another hit. Oh, little one. Boo! That's another trout. I am firmly in the 8-inch trout club. I'm going to see if there's any fish in here that might be interested in a live mullet. Alright. Let's take a look. There you are. You are a big boy. You know what they say about big boys. You know what they say? They say, big bait catch big fish. Are. All right, well, that live bait, fished it for about 10 minutes and something big hit it and immediately cut it off clean. It had to have been a big snook. So that's a learning point, right? Learn how to fish your backyard. So I know the big snooker here. I know they like to eat the mullet. Just need to come with more mullet next time and more time because I just got the call. Time to go home. We're going to deploy for a little nearshore family diving mission to the south. So everybody's getting packed up, gonna be waiting for me at home. But you know, since I'm merely moments from my house, I can just buzz home in the sweet Ancona Shadowcast, which is always super enjoyable. I think I'll shoot to the east side of the river and come up on it glassy, pop it on the trailer, and I'm home in about a half hour from this point, including getting the boat washed down. So that's why we love the micro skiff. At least that's why I love it, one of the many reasons. And look at how many fish we caught today. I don't know, half a dozen or so. Trout, more really. And also saw a big fish, got cut off by a snook. I'd call that a good day. We learned a lot. I could come back out tomorrow morning, no problem, and come undo the mistakes I made today and probably get the fat snook just 10 minutes from my house. Hey, if you like these kinds of videos, go ahead and subscribe to Florida Fishy Finger. We buzz our little micro skiff all around the state of Florida and elsewhere. And we enjoy the Florida lifestyle and adventures. So if you like that, go ahead and subscribe. And thanks for watching.